go across to Pankaj Anand. He's a disaster management and relief expert. Pankaj, the railways minister there refusing to step down, saying this is not the time to even think about resigning. This is the time when he needs to get the job done. Given that you track disaster management relief, what's your sense of the kind of thrust that's been put on railway modernization and upgradation of our facilities? Is everything that can possibly be done? There are legacy issues which are being dealt with, but is everything that can possibly be done being done at this moment, or do you think there is a lot more speed which we can still pick up?
I think, Rahul, it is not my place to be commenting on railway safety. I am not technically qualified to be speaking about that. What I can tell you is that this is a huge humanitarian disaster. And as a disaster professional and aid worker, I can tell you there is a lot of need with regard to provision of food and drinking water, referral services, setting up of blood donation camps. And one thing which is less talked about is psychosocial support for the survivors as well as for the family members. And it requires a lot of coordination with the disaster.
So talk a bit about that, Pankaj, the fact that there are people, 1,000 plus, who've survived this tragedy, who have just seen their life change. They've experienced a moment which will haunt them for as long as they live.
Yes. So what do you want me to comment on, Rahul?
You spoke about the kind of psycho help that they would require to be able to deal with this trauma.
Yes, it is very, very important. Psychosocial support, provision of that is very, very important for the survivors as well as for the family members of people who are dead. And this will require mobilization of a different kind, not just the men and material and the supplies, but of professionals who can do it. But it will. This is the time when the people actually need a lot of compassion, sympathy, and good wishes of the people from around the country.
Okay, Mr. Shashidhar Reddy joins us. He's former Vice Chairperson of the National Disaster Management Authority. Mr. Reddy, at this moment, from what we are gathering from Balasore, is that rescue operations have ended. How much time do you think it might still take to be able to get these tracks operational so that whichever trains are to pass on these tracks, they're able to do so?
Well, I'm not really sure, but knowing the speed at which the restoration work is normally carried out, it should not take very long. But the complete rescue operation, I think it will from reports that I've heard on television, it might take some more time. In any case, the main focus at this point of time has to be on the rescue relief, and I fully agree with the other panelist who was earlier talking about psychosocial support. This becomes extremely important in a situation like this. You know, we had this Mangalore air crash, some years back. The survivors were really suffering, and they had to be given this kind of support, and such psychosocial support has become more or less standard, and I think that needs also to be focused on in terms of the real reasons. And I think, as the Railway Minister said, the detailed report will tell us what exactly has happened.